Welcome to My Accent is No Accident podcast. I am your host, Maritza. We are here today with a wonderful woman, energy whisperer, who takes her clients and patients on healing journeys they never thought were possible. She is Dr. Dolores Fazzino, a trailblazing through leader, visionary, and innovator who is revolutionizing the realm of energy healing. As a renowned nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, she fearlessly combines the power of intuition and trust to facilitate profound transformations in her patients. Driven by a deep belief in the body's innate wisdom, she guides individuals on a transformative journey, empowering them to tap into their own healing potential. Prepare to be captivated by Dr. Fazzino's unique blend of intuition, energy healing, expertise, and unwavering trust in the body's innate ability to heal itself. Dr. Dolores, it is an honor to have you as a guest on my podcast.
Oh, Maritza, thank you so much for the opportunity. I so appreciate it. And thank you for the nice, warm introduction as well.
It is super wonderful to have you here. I was very excited because I had so many questions and I want to know many things. But the very first question I have for you, and the question that I have for every one of my guests, please, Dr. Dolores, tell me, what is your accent and why is not an accident?
Well, my accent is from New England, and it's not an accident. I was born there. But it was, this is a really funny story, Maritza, because in Connecticut, it's like I'm surrounded by, growing up in Connecticut, I was surrounded by people from Massachusetts and Boston that had a certain accent, and then Long Island, another accent, and New York, another accent. I always thought that we talked normal and everybody else was different. So I laugh about that because it's just like, well, this is what people from Connecticut sound like. But I do appreciate that because when I did move to Philadelphia to go to college, I started picking up the accent down there. So when I went back to New England, I had a little twang going on because wherever you are, it's like when you're immersed in things, sometimes you just pick up things. So I feel now living on the West Coast in California, I'm probably a melting pot of a lot of different accents that kind of come through different times and places and in unsuspecting ways as well. So yeah.
Yes, it is beautiful. I have driven by Connecticut. I've been in New England and Long Island. I love Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And you are right. Everybody has a total different accent.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's like sometimes it's like you have to really lean in and listen closely. It's like, what are they saying?
Exactly. One of the things that I love about you is that you have 4 years experience as a nurse practitioner. And you were able to combine these with what you found on yourself that was one of the innate traits that you had. I would like you to tell the audience about this experience.
Oh, sure. Maritza, everybody has their story on how they get started on things. And, a lot of people had known my story, but I'm going to share it here anyway. Believe it or not, I was on a pathway to become a concert clarinetist, and something totally opposite of that now. And it wasn't until I was a teenager and witnessed the miraculous healing of my father's long-term health condition that he had for well over 10 years that I changed my area of study almost immediately and knew that it was my lifelong mission to go into healthcare to bridge the gap between the physical and the spiritual, but the unconscious and the conscious. And going back into the mid 70s, which is almost 50 years ago, believe it or not, back then it was just like, this was like totally way out in the ethers where you were like cray cray and get you committed to an institution because this was so out of the box thinking. But I knew in my heart of hearts that this is where, you know, things needed to go. So yes, it's been an interesting journey for me. I've been in healthcare for well over 45 years. And, for me, I've always been an intuitive person and I would know things before they actually happen. And it was very interesting, especially being in the ICU when I'd be working with doctors and stuff. And when you tune into your patient, you just know things that I would be able to tell them what's going to happen before it would happen. And they were just like initially would freak out, but then they would realize that that I knew things, and they were saying, "How do you know this stuff?" I said, "I just know." It's called, dialing in and being part of that energy and being in the flow of that. Of course, we didn't know what energy was back then because this predates the whole thing of quantum physics, which was the big stepping stone to get us to where we're at now with everything, that there's more going on than what we can physically see. And I think we've proved that over the last couple of decades at least. So it's been very interesting witnessing the transformation in the healthcare arena, starting to more embrace what I have known for a very, very long time. We still have ways to go, but it's to be able to witness this after many decades of pushing trying to make something happen. It's actually happening now, which is just, I'm just so delighted to be able to witness this, but also to be part of it as well. Because we do know that there's more going on in healing than what we physically know. The physical is just the tip of the iceberg of all the underlying things of what is going on, and the underlying things that you can't see. The hidden part of the iceberg is like, your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, whether or not you experience them or not, your connectedness to yourself, and also our ancestral stuff of what we come into this world with from our families. It's all there. And that's what it kind of runs the show unconsciously because it's under the surface. But when we bring that to consciousness and there's an awareness, the sky's the limit. You could heal almost anything, connecting all the dots.
And that is beautiful. I always thought that I had something like intuitive, or I was an empathetic person knowing what somebody else was feeling. And I never ever told anybody until I started like hanging out with people that will do energy healing, will do work more in the spiritual realm. And then one of the things that I found out is that we all are connected, and we are connected because we're supposed to help each other.
Yeah. It's so true. And, you could take that a step further and use this analogy too, Maritza. It's like collective consciousness is this huge body of water. Each one of us is a drop in that water. Beautiful. So who we are, all the good, bad, and the not so good stuff drops into that water of collective consciousness and ripples out and affects everything. So knowing that, how we show up contributes to the bigger picture. And I know that's it might be a challenging for some people to understand, but it is the truth. It's like what we do and our ability to work on ourselves and change through awareness, being aware of how you show up. That's where your power comes in. That's where the choices come in. And you're able to make the correct decisions for yourself, but you also add to that big container, that's that big body of water, and you're adding your little ripple effect into it. So could you imagine if more people are more aware and they're putting real good stuff in there, what that's going to be like for the big bowl of humanity? It's going to be awesome.
It is going awesome. And also it serves to our purpose, which is letting humanity know, everybody know that we all are the same. In essence, we are all the same, no matter our accents or our religion, our beliefs, our political views. We are all the same, and we are to contribute and help each other and love each other. We're here to love. That is our main reason to be in the
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it all starts with loving yourself first. Because everything starts with us first. People think, oh, it's when I have X, Y, and Z, I'm going to be happy. Yeah, it's a temporary happiness. It's never. In order to have the serenity, the inner peace and stuff, you have to start with yourself. And, you know, I always tell people that it's hard to believe this, but this is a truth. The longest relationship you're ever going to have in your life is the one you have with yourself. But yet people are looking on the outside for all their answers. It's like coming within, finding that inner wisdom that's your innate sovereign being. This is who you are, and trusting and loving and appreciating that. And yeah, there's, you know, how many times do we say nice things to ourselves in our mind, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No bueno. That's not good, folks.
No, it's not. When we judge ourselves too hard, and we're harsh to ourselves sometimes when it comes to perfectionism and trying to achieve goals, we think that we need to be perfect and better than, when all we have to do is find the answer within.
Yeah. No, it's true. Because we have this infinite wisdom that's always accessible to ourselves. Sometimes we forget that. You know, we get so distracted by what's happening in our world right in this moment. And, you know, as we were sharing earlier before we got on, the putting out the fires and stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm staying in my lane. I'm not going to project what my things are onto these other people, and I expect that of other people as well. But it's like it's being able to discern and being secure enough in yourself and so dialed into who you are that whatever around you is everybody's pocket of drama, and it's your choice whether or not you choose to get sucked into this. This is where you make a conscious choice instead of just reacting and getting sucked into it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is wonderful and beautiful to be able to see how others can affect you or not.
And it's, you know what? It's a choice, because that's where your power comes in. It's just like, yes, you could be reactive, which I call that more of being in your mind. So when you're reactive, you're remembering past things or past events and how it played out. And so you're just automatically going there. Or you could be in your body and be reflective and just say, isn't that interesting? I'm being triggered. And why is that? And then maybe possibly getting a different response.
Exactly. And I think that one of the important things that you do, and I love it, is that you work with the energy.
Yes.
And you use the energy for healing. And I think that many of the people have heard of it. They are not fully aware of what exactly it is. So can you give us a little bit of an intro of what is this?
Okay, so energy healing. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say the premise of everything is energy. Okay, so when you look at us as physical beings, we are actually energetic beings, but we're a denser demonstration of that. Okay, so we are energy. If you looked at us under a microscope, we're kind of all doing this stuff, but our thoughts are also energy. We can't see them, but radio waves are energy. Our beliefs, another energetic wavelength radio wave. Our emotions, whether or not you experience them or not, or if you ignore them or don't experience them fully, it's energy that gets pocketed and stuck, but it's also a vibration. Okay, your connectedness to your higher self and you, that's a vibration as well. It's like, imagine all these little radio waves going all over the place that are coming from you. Some of them are thoughts, some of our beliefs, some are our emotions, our connectedness, and also it goes to our stuff too, believe it or not. So what happens is this. I'm going to give people a demonstration of what energy is. You and I have both had these situations where you haven't spoken to somebody in months, years maybe, yet think about them, and the next thing you know, the phone rings. And they're another place in the world, but it's them.
Yes.
Does that happen to you?
Yes, it has happened.
That's how energy works, and that's how energy healing works. Sometimes the further away it is, it's like thoughts know no boundaries or no limits. Okay, it's just energy flowing back and forth. We're all wired for that and for healing. So if you're going to, downloading some beautiful energy or even saying prayers and sending out the energy, it gets to that person. It's like setting the intention and the flow.
Okay.
So, and that's why, they've done studies too with prayer. I forgot exactly where this took place, but I'll just surmise it. People were prayed for without their knowledge. Okay. And then they did a study to see what the people experienced. Okay. And so these people were from all over the world praying for a particular person that the person was unaware that they were being prayed for. And yet the feedback was that they received, they felt like this overwhelming sense of well-being. They were at peace, and actually things went much better.
Oh, wow.
So that's how energy works. And that's how, it's like we all have those abilities. Some of us have been programmed not to use it because it's not considered logical. But it really is our innate truth. When you take that a step further and look at our animal kingdom, I think they're the highly evolved species in all honesty, because they get it. Energetically, they are tuned in. They communicate telepathically, which is a highly evolved state of communication, not verbally talking, but telepathically. It's like I don't know if you've ever tried to do anything with your animals, but how you communicate with your animals is like, go down to the heart space, connect with their heart space, and then they'll show you pictures sometimes of what they want or what they want to do or what's going on, or you could energetically superimpose from your heart over to them a picture of what you would like people to do that. Like, say if you have an animal and you want them to sit on your lap, just energetically connect to them heart to heart and send them a picture of them sitting comfortably on your lap. They'll come over and do that. It's that simple.
It is that simple. Well, unless they're cats. They'll look at you and not right now.
Well, they might do that too, but eventually they will, because they feel they're drawn to that. But it's the heart to heart energy.
Exactly, yes. And that I can out of joke and everything, I can tell you a testimony of this that happened to us when we moved to this house we're
Okay.
right now. My cats were obviously new to the house, and we totally forgot to tell them where we were moving. So my cat, the boy, is we have two, boy and a girl, they're brother and sister, and the boy is very curious about the outdoors, but they are both indoor cats. So one day he just got out.
Oh boy.
The door opened and the door was broken and the door will unlatch. So the door unlatched and he's like, oh, he got out. We didn't realize he was out until like 9 at night when we started
Mhm.
looking for him and calling his name.
Yeah.
Then overwhelmingly, my husband and I are looking for the cat. My daughter is going to kill us if
Yeah.
we don't find this cat. So we started looking for him. I called my daughter and said, I'm sorry, we can't find him. And we are putting everywhere around. He was lost for a week, to make
Oh
this story
boy.
short.
Yeah.
Um, I know somebody that communicates with animals, and this person says, just hold a picture of your cat and think
Mm.
of him, show him your house, and then just concentrate on him. And then suddenly, a picture in my head of some bushes with yellow flowers.
Mm.
It was dark, and all I could see was feet, people's
Okay.
feet and children feet. And I said, he's at the park. There is a park around, the
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood park. And I'm like, he's at the park. I've seen these bushes.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there and we were looking for him and calling and everything. And obviously we have flyers everywhere. So they called
Mm-hmm.
us while we're doing this. They called us. They gave us the cat. Your cat is in my backyard. We went in
Oh.
there, and where he was is it had been raining a couple of days before, so they had like a platform, and he went under that
Okay.
platform to. And what did we see? Right in front of the platform, the bushes with yellow flowers, and all he
Wow.
could see was people feet from where he
Wow.
was
That's
at.
pretty cool.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my goodness, I believe in this.
Yes. So yes, that's how energy works, and healing is the same way. You know, those are just examples. It's there for us. It's, we could access it at any time. We just need to be in our physical body to access that. That's the key part. Many of us are in our heads thinking and worrying. They're either living in the past or the future, but you have to be in your body to be in the present moment and experience the present moment. That's when you have access to all of that. That's when you have all the keys to the kingdom, basically. Seriously.
That is beautiful. And going to the ancestors part,
Yeah.
many of us carry the baggage of our ancestors,
Yeah.
and therefore we need to heal that in order for our souls and selves to move on.
And I'm going to add to that. It's a lot of this is unconscious too. It's unconsciously running the show. And as we bring it into awareness and make it more conscious, and we work on that and heal that, did you know that you heal up to 7 generations in the past and 7 generations?
Oh wow.
So you're really doing a huge gift to your lineage. Huge.
And that is magnificent.
Yeah.
Now, one of the ways that you work with your clients is not only the one-on-one with the energy healing, but you also work with patients that are in situations of pain and so on. Can you tell us a little bit about?
Sure, absolutely. In my background, I've been in healthcare for 45 years. Part of my area of expertise is that I've been in surgery for the last 30 years, full-time and presently part-time. And I'm an assistant surgeon, so I assist on different surgeries, and I've witnessed a lot of different things. And what I have found over the years that has actually implemented and supported my work is that how a lot of people create the physical realms of whatever is going on, which is the tip of the iceberg, and then the underlying issues. And I'm just going to give for an example. Say a person gets diagnosed with breast cancer. So a lot of times, what happens is that we know that, at the time of the diagnosis, usually like 16, almost a year to 2 years before these, there was a major in the person's life, or something had happened, and it has some ways to deal with, what they think about themselves, but also maybe coping and not dealing with emotions and stuff like that. So there's a lot that comes into play, and everybody's situation is so uniquely different. So, what happened with one person I'll just share is that, she was very good at taking care of everybody else and put herself last on her list of things to do. So, of course, what's going to happen for her was she presented with breast cancer. When you look at a woman's breast, it's nurturing, self-nurturing, no self-nurturing. So it's about reintroducing that into her lifestyle, getting her reconnected to learning how to trust that inner wisdom that she has. And it's not about, like, some coaching clients say, well, what do you think I should do?
Oh,
No, this is what we do. I'm going to make the right choice for you, not what I think you should do. Because the most important thing is learning how to trust that little voice inside yourself and start making your life decisions from that aspect instead of looking outside. Yes, that information is helpful, but it's not the end all be all. It's like anything out there that that's being presented to you, and you don't resonate with it, by all means, please don't do that, because it's not the right step for you to do. It's about you learning how to trust what is the right thing for you to do. Maybe it is the right thing for you to have chemo, radiation, and alternative stuff. Maybe you're aligned with that, maybe you're not. But the thing is, it's like, it's no judgment call or whatever. It's like, what is your body telling you? It's like listening to the knowledge that's coming from your physical body. And for some people, it's sick because they've been disconnected from it for a very long time.
Yes, and they don't know how to translate
Exactly
that energy and emotions into what they're feeling in
exactly right. And so the thing is I think we take it a step further. A lot of times in the United States, in our culture particularly, we're always told don't feel, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, you don't want to feel that. It's like all happy stuff. And you know what? That's not reality, folks. For me, an indicator, if somebody says, well, I think I feel, you're not feeling. You're intellectual feelings by saying, I think I feel. Feeling is a different thing when you're in your body, because you have to be in the present moment. Sometimes that scares the bejeebers out of people, and they pop out of there, go in their head, and then do that dance, whatever they do, and they never experience that emotion, but it's still trapped energy there that's running the show.
And that is so important, and especially for mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that in my culture, for instance, the Latin culture, is like, don't pay attention.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like turn that switch off, when in reality, turning that switch off is not doing anything for you. Is actually piling up all these feelings and all these things, and they might end up in depression or anxiety or anger management and many other mental health issues that shouldn't be there.
Agreed. Maritza, you're absolutely spot on with that. What I tell people is this. Yes, emotions, they're all over the map. We label them as good or bad. Emotions. They're expressions of energy. And we do ourselves a huge disservice when we pretend that they're not there, because when you experience the energy of whatever that emotion is in the moment and you're with it, as uncomfortable as it might be, guess what? It's like a bubble of energy. You're taking a step into the bubble, and next thing you know, you're taking another step and you're on the outside. When you experience that energy or whatever that is and be with it, it's just like you allow it to come to neutrality. So it has no energetic charge, and then you move forward.
Wow, that is what a beautiful insight and very, very important to know. Like, I just learned something new on how to, yes, on how to manage that energy, how to manage those feelings so
Yeah.
that you can move on.
And it takes the self-awareness part, because you know that you're feeling this. The last thing you want to do is just go and react and project that onto somebody else. It's about us, okay, I'm feeling this, and verbalizing, I'm feeling this. I just need to sit with this for a moment and just process it and feel this. And a lot of times when you give yourself permission to go there, it dissipates and switches just like that. It's like flipping a switch. Whereas if you try to resist it and not go there, guess what? It's like it takes so much energy to keep it at bay. But guess what? It's festering and growing, like you shared. It just more and more of it adds on. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's exhausting to try to keep that stuff at bay. It's liberating when you're able to experience it and move on. You create a space for something new and even more beautiful to come in.
And that is a wonderful insight. I love this. I love this conversation. And now I I can live more when you say that people heal in ways they never thought possible.
Absolutely. And, because people think everything's in a box. And we were talking about that earlier. Everything is more interconnected than people have any idea. Each one of us is a matrix. Okay. And we're interconnected in different ways, our body and mind and soul and spirit. And you take each one of us individuals that have the same thing, and we're interconnected with that. It's just it's an amazing big picture of multiple dimensions and all these different frequencies and the interconnectedness. Yeah, we're more alike than we all know.
And then we should treat each other as such as well.
Exactly. It's like being kind to people, being respectful, no matter where they are or what station they are in their life. It's about you know I say leading by example. How would you want to be treated? I think that what we're witnessing in the workforce, just for an example, is the paradigm crumbling of what it had been. There's no reference points of where we're going, but yet the most important things are kindness and respect, appreciation, love. Those are the basic things that every human being needs
And deserves.
and deserves, absolutely, as a sovereign being.
Exactly. And any living being actually too.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
when when I see people like treat, let's talk about the animals as well. When you have a pet, you don't yell at the pet. You don't kick them out. You don't kick them around. If you're a kind person, you wouldn't. That is the same way you treat others. You
Yeah.
treat them like equals, like, and if they are different in any kind of way that you perceive that different, that remember that the essence of every one of us is humanity.
Yeah. Very true. Very, very true.
Yes. So this is a wonderful conversation and we're getting to the end, but I would love our audience to get to talk to you and communicate with you and contact you. How can they find you?
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, they're welcome to go to my website. It's drdoloresfazzino.com. And I have a free guided meditation that people stay in the present moment, to ground in the present moment, because as we were talking about earlier, many of us are out here and not right here, right now in the present moment. And so if you're one of those people that gets easily distracted and having a hard time staying grounded in your physical body, this is for you. And you could sign up for that. There'll be a pop-up that comes up when you first go to the website. But if they want to get in contact with me, they could just reach out at Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com, and I'd be happy to talk to them more.
Excellent. And Fazzino is spelled Fazzino.
Correct. And Dolores is Dolores, because I have to spell that too, because I get themes and variations on that.
Oh,
too.
That's true. To me is innate.
Yeah, me too. It's just like, I'm like, that's the normal way to spell it. But it's funny though. It's like I've had some really interesting themes and variations that, I haven't seen that one before, but that's interesting.
Exactly. Dr. Dolores, this was wonderful.
Thank you, Maritza. I appreciate it.
Then probably I would like to have you one more time, and we probably can do an exercise of energy healing for the audience.
Oh, absolutely. That would be fun.
Yes. So thank you to our audience. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the content, hit subscribe, give me a nice review, and talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, it's Maritza here. If you like this episode of My Accent is No Accident podcast and would like to listen more like this, subscribe wherever you're listening to it or watching it. Leave us a nice review and share with your friends, family, and network. Thanks for listening.